Mumbai to Singapore for a short trip for my wife Dipti's birthday. The legroom wasn't terrible, but there were no screens for any in-flight entertainment, no utilities like USB charging, and even the little pouch in front of the seat to keep the stuff was gone. With drinks, they serve these little crispy corn chips, which aren't the worst thing in the world, especially if you are hungry. Since it was a night flight, we got served dinner and there was only one meat option, and it was the Indian chicken meal. We were served some rajma, turmeric rice and saag style chicken. There was a pineapple salad which tasted absolutely bizarre and I did not like it at all. The meal itself wasn't bad, the chicken was well cooked and flavorful, the rajma chawal was great as well. We got the usual bread roll with butter, which honestly is the best part of the meal for me. I proceeded to butter up that bad boy, and then using the chicken from the meal I made a little DIY chicken sandwich. Dessert was this vanilla cake in a chocolate sauce which looked alright. Taste wise it was basic and not entirely awful. Not the best, not the worst either. Overall, I'm not sure I'd want to fly Air India again, but if I judge just the meal by itself, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I woke up at 8 am on Sunday and took an Uber, not a rickshaw, to the forehead of Mumbai called Kolaba, where we had a serial eaters breakfast meetup at Kuku Breakfast house. 30 other food-loving serial eaters sacrificed their Sunday sleep to join me for this breakfast meetup. As usual, I got myself a perfectly good Americano, and after that I just watched as the serial eaters ordered and ate their food. Everything from eggs benedict to wraps to sandwiches to croissant sandwiches were ordered. I tasted a few things and the biscuits and gravy disappointed everyone who ordered them, but the lemon custard brulee French toast blew everyone's collective mind. Some dishes were good and some missed the mark. My own fried chicken sandwich just broke my heart the same way the biscuits broke. While the bechamel had no salt, the chicken wasn't meaty enough and the sausage gravy was super spicy. I did not enjoy my dish and it was a 4 out of 10 for me. Overall, another fun meetup, and hopefully I'll order something better next time I visit. And that's my honest review. Dipti and I decided that for date night this week, we wanted a large serving of nostalgia. So we hit up one of our old-time date spots, Yoko's Sizzlers on Linking Road. The restaurant looks exactly the same as it did 20 years ago, and their menu is also almost the same, except this one has seen better days. I was all ready to order my sizzler, but before that we had to get their legendary Scotch broth soup 1x2. This is a mutton soup with barley in it. Dipti got a peach iced tea which was sweet and peachy. Then came our sizzler and we had ordered the steak satellite, which was an old favorite of mine. Now let's be honest, this isn't really a steak, it's a hand pounded tender piece of beef and it tastes exactly like it did over a decade ago. We ate the meat and potatoes, but there was a wasteland of boiled vegetables at the end and it was still smoking. It's hard to believe I used to eat here when it was 150 rupees for a sizzler and now it's 1000. At the end of our meal, we were two happy campers, and that's why this is a 10 out of 10 for the nostalgia. The food tastes exactly as it always did, and that's what this meal was about. I flew to Bali via Singapore on Singapore Airlines for a long overdue vacation with Dipti to celebrate our 20th anniversary. The Mumbai-Singapore leg had comfy seats with lots of legroom, high quality in-flight entertainment but low quality complimentary headphones, plug points and USB points to charge your devices, and even a hidden mirror in the tray table. For supper, I opted for the fish while Dipti got the chicken. The fish itself was probably tilapia, so it wasn't super flavorful, but the sauce was creamy and rich and more than made up for it. Dipti's chicken makhani was served with rice and an Indian-style vegetable dish and was not bad according to her. Even though it was late, I got a coffee to drink, but my favorite part of an in-flight meal is always the soft bread roll with butter. Dessert was a sort of coffee tres leches. The milky custard made the cake nice and moist. It was a good dessert. Overall, this was one of the better in-flight meals I've had and I rated 7 out of 10. Smash that like button on this video and stay tuned for part 2, which is our Singapore to Bali flight. I took the Serial Eaters Premium members with me to review the newly opened Santa Maria sandwich shop in Bandra. The plan was to take 2 Serial Eaters and review 3 sandwiches, but we ended up being 8 people in total and we ate our way through 8 different sandwiches on the menu. The sandwiches I ordered were Peggy's Piggy, Marquis Mortadella and Daddy Dice's Buff Roast. Just look at those cross sections. All 3 sandwiches were good and Peggy's Piggy was my favorite, and the Buff Roast was good, but it could have had a little more buff and a little less lettuce. They gave me a 10% discount on the bill and I paid 1439 for those 3 sandwiches. The Serial Eaters got a round of sandwiches next, ordering the Ranwar Square Winner Chicken Dinner, 2 different kinds of crispers, Papa Minglia's pulled pork, Nelson's Goan chorizo, an iced tea, and even the Elvis Presley sandwich, which had bacon, banana and peanut butter. I did not enjoy the banana in my sandwich. That bill was 3132 with 10% discount. Honestly, Santa Maria gets the horns up from both me and the Serial Eaters, and that's our honest review. Is Bene Dosa in Bandra overhyped? Well, I took the serial eaters with me for breakfast there to answer the question. And we were even joined by local MLA Newton Lewis, who had people falling to his feet for blessings. And Bene even gave us complimentary Mysore Pak and Badam Halwa. But for that to happen, I had to see Bombay at its quiet best at 8 am when the streets were empty and walked 20 minutes to get to Bene where there was no line. I got in and ordered myself a filter coffee while I waited for the serial eaters. The serial eaters arrived and the ordering began. I don't even know what they ordered, but it felt like they ordered everything on the menu. And people made all sorts of faces while enjoying their food. I got the Bene Masala Dosa without the spicy chutney inside, and happy to report it was crispy and fluffy at the same time. The bhaji was a tad spicy but tasty. The chutneys also have improved from last time. I definitely enjoyed what I ate, but next time I have to tell them to use less bene on my dosa because it was so oily America wanted to invade it. But now let's answer the question, is bene dosa overhyped? The serial eaters were in a food coma as they ate murg malai kebab, mutton seekh kebab, mutton boti kebab, amritsari fish tikka, chicken seekh kebab and kasturi murg. And this was just appetizers. We hadn't even reached main courses yet. But for that to happen, I had to take an Uber, not a rickshaw, and cross the sea link and take the fancy new coastal road and go in a very long tunnel to reach Gaylord Restaurant in Churchgate for a serial eaters meetup. We got the fancy VIP section upstairs exclusively for us. The cocktails were ordered and were captivating in their presentation. I had curated 3 kebabs for appetizers on my menu, but Gaylord gave us 3 additional kebabs on the house, so we could taste the full variety. For the main course, we had market fish and chips, the gammon steak, and the crowning jewel, the chicken a la Kiev. For dessert, it was nostalgia with caramel custard and some sticky toffee pudding. Once again, it was a fun-filled evening with the serial eaters. Great food and great company. Gaylord Restaurant really did give us that lovely feeling of nostalgia and lived up to the hospitality they are known for. Till the next one, cheers and keep eating. All influencers and their uncles should be banned from using the term hidden gem to describe restaurants, because 99% of the time they are neither hidden nor gems. This restaurant Makan La is truly hidden because they are not on Google Maps and they don't even have an Instagram account. When the serial eaters found out they were serving Singapore street food, they made a plan to try it out, and I tagged along as well. The owner Cynthia was there to help us get started, and she's from Singapore but has lived in India for over a decade now. We pretty much ate our way through the entire menu. Everything from chicken rice to bihun noodles to nasi lemak to kaya toast to the braised pork. We had it all. Cynthia also sent us some complimentary dishes to try, and honestly we ate a lot of food and ordered a lot of dishes. My personal favorite was the Hainanese chicken rice. The chicken was moist and juicy, and while the rice was flavorful, it could have had a little more fat. And while the food was good, there is some room for improvement, but for now, if I want my fix of Hainanese chicken rice, I know where to come. Overall, it was another fun afternoon with the serial eaters, and I'd rate this an 8 out of 10 experience. I don't know how to start this reel. I could tell you that despite living in Mumbai for 41 years, this is my first visit to Ram Ashray, or I could tell you that my bill at Ram Ashray was less than the Uber ride to and fro, or I could just say that I went with my wife and friend Shaista for breakfast at 11:30 am to Ram Ashray on Sunday morning. We waited in line for exactly 15 minutes and then we got seated. I ordered the Medu Vada for myself. Dipti and Shaista got themselves a podi idli each, which was fluffy and they enjoyed it, but not as much as the podi upma, which was the highlight of the meal for Dipti. She also ordered a Mysore masala for herself, which she said was nice. I had the masala dosa, which I thoroughly enjoyed. We also got filter coffee, which totally hit the spot, and it was served with some tableside flair. The meal was ended with pineapple shira, which the ladies ordered. Overall, I was happy that I finally tried the food here, and it was a fun morning with Dipti and Shaista. I'd rate it a solid 9 out of 10, and the bill amount you were waiting to hear was 594 rupees. I ate Bene Dosa and had filter coffee at 5 p.m. in the evening with my friend Shaista at the newly opened Bene Dosa in Bandra because every influencer and their uncle has been hyping up the place. I was 20 minutes early and there was already a short queue which later swelled up. The owner Akhil stepped out and gave everyone a piece of Mysore Pak while we waited. Finally they opened their doors and in we went. Ordered my food via their kiosk and they gave me a fun little name as my token for when the food is ready. The idli vada came out in no time and we just had to dive right in. The idli was a big letdown with its pasty texture and lack of flavor. The vada was hot and crispy but again failed to impress me. The star of the show, the Bene Dosa, arrived and we slathered that butter all over. Shaista dived in and then I followed. The dosa was good, lacked a bit of salt for me and still felt like it was missing something. The filter coffee which came right at the end was fantastic. Both the hot and the cold one that we ordered hit the spot. We paid 320 rupees for all this food. While I had a great time hanging out with my buddy Shaista, overall Bene Dosa was pretty underwhelming. I give this a 6 out of 10 and that's my honest review.